Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through a complete event-driven order processing platform that I have built on AWS. And what makes this special is that it includes AI-powered fraud detection using Amazon Bedrock. This is a real-world architecture that covers several important patterns: the Saga pattern for distributed transactions, event-driven fan-out using EventBridge and SQS, and AI integration inside a serverless workflow using Amazon Bedrock. Before we jump into the demo, let me quickly walk you through the architecture. So this is our architecture. So here, when a customer places an order, the request hits the API gateway, which triggers the order processor Lambda. This Lambda does three things. It validates the request, checks the elastic cache readies for cached product data to avoid unnecessary DynamoDB reads, and writes the order as pending to DynamoDB. Then it kicks off the step functions, that is Saga. So if we see this one, so this complete block, it is a step functions, and we have given name as order dash Saga as the step function name. So the Saga has four main steps. One is reserve inventory, fraud check. This is using via Bedrock, and then process payment and confirm order. And once it is done, it comes out as succeeded. So each step is a separate lambda. So whatever we see, all this reserve, fraud check, payment, confirm. So everything is a separate lambda functions. So the fraud check step is where AI comes in. It calls Amazon Bedrock with the order details and gets back a fraud score. If the score is above 0.7, the order is rejected. If any step fails, Saga automatically compensates, releasing reserved inventory and making the order as failed. So this is the Saga pattern. It ensures data consistency across distributed services without using database transactions. So once order is confirmed, the confirmed order Lambda publishes an order confirmed event to EventBridge, which fans out two SQS queues simultaneously. One for email notifications via SES, simple email service, and one for indexing the order in OpenSearch. Each queue also has a dead letter queue. If a message fails to process after 3 attempts, it goes to the DL queue for investigation. So now let me show you this in action with four scenarios. Okay, so let me open the test scenarios. And before we proceed for the scenarios, so I have listed out what and all services that we are using in this particular project, and other details I have mentioned in detail here. So if you would like to try this project, in this readme and the other docs will help. Okay, so now let's get started with scenarios. So first scenario, that is, I'm going to place an order using the curl command. Okay, so before I place an order, so I will show you the table details. Let me open the DynamoDB tables. So if we see here, we have three tables here. So one is product. So we have two products, product 001, product 002. And what are those products? and their names and price and order details. So what and all orders that we have placed. So all the details we have here and its status. And coming to the inventory. So how many products are still available in stock and how many products are not available. For example, if I place one order, this stock currently it is showing as 98. So this stock should reduce one count. That means after that, its value should be 97. So all this inventory it will maintain. So now we will go back and test the first scenario. Okay, so that we call it as happy path. That means, let's say if this is successful in all the stages, okay, then what and all steps that we need to check. So that we are going to see it now. Okay, let's give it a try. So now I will open my terminal. So I am using curl command, and if you see this is my API gateway, and this is the API gateway domain, and this is the stages, and this is what I have deployed. And coming to other details, so I gave my email ID and the product 001 I gave, and the other field details I gave, and then quantity 1 I'm giving. So let me hit enter. Okay, so now it created order ID and its status is pending. And if you see the order ID, it is ending with 357. So now we will go to, okay, this one, step functions. So before that, so this is the API gateway which I said, and this is the number which we have triggered now. It is ending with 07A and orders, and I have placed a post. So and if you see this one, and this will triggers order processor lambda. Okay, and this order processor lambda triggers the step functions. Okay, so let me open the order saga, which is our step function name, and let me go back and check what is the order we placed. It is ending with 357, and if you see, this is the one which we placed just now, and timestamp we can see. So if we go inside, see, this is showing all the details like what and all lambdas that it got executed successfully, and and if I see this one, it is successful altogether. So let me cross check the details. So order number what we have seen, it is ending with 357, and email ID. So all the details we can see. And coming to, let's check the fraud check. Okay, so what it is showing for us. Okay, so if you see this one, so fraud score is 0, risk level low, and the fraud check equal to true. So that means fraud check case it passed. So and then it proceeded with the process payment, and even this case it is successful. So yeah, so in the Saga step function side, all the scenarios are successfully executed. Okay, let's check what are other things that we need to cross check. So what we have cross checked now, we have cross checked the step functions latest execution state and all other states. Also we see the score. It is less than 0.7. I think in our case it is 0.0. Okay, let me cross check that one. Okay, now fraud score is just 0. So that is why it is passed now. Okay, let me open the other checks that we can do. Okay, so this is done now. Let's cross check the DynamoDB orders table and check the status. Okay, I will go to DynamoDB. I will go to orders table. Okay, so let me open the order number. So that is ending with 357. This is the order number. And if you see this one, so it is confirmed. Status is confirmed. So yeah, this check also success now. And inventory we will see. So this inventory should be decremented by 1. So earlier when we have seen before executing this command, it was showing 98, right? So now let's go back and check. Okay, this one. Okay, now I just now refreshed this one. So now if we see, this status is 97. Okay, so yeah, so even this is confirmed, and the inventory table also updated by the corresponding lambda. And now we should get a email to our inbox. So let me cross check my inbox. Okay, so for the specific order, so order number ending with 357, and I have received a mail from SES. Okay, so yeah, your order has been confirmed, and this is the price. Okay, so yeah, this is also successfully done. Now let's cross check the cloud logs. So we will check the email consumer logs, and we should see email sent for this particular order. Okay, now I will go to CloudWatch. Okay, so now I will go to, let me go to log management. Okay, so first we'll check email consumer. So, so we will check email consumer. Okay, so in the email consumer, we will open the latest one. Okay, here we can see email sent for order ending with 357. So yeah, so in this case, so we see that email sent for order also present. Now we will check search consumer logs in CloudWatch logs. So let me open the CloudWatch logs. Okay, so we will look for search consumer logs. Okay, now we see indexed order. So order number is 357. So we can see like even this particular order information has been indexed in the open search. Okay, so now so we can cross check this data in the open search. So in simple way, whenever we hit any, whenever there is any successful record, and the count, the document count will increase by 1. Okay, let me open the open search. Okay, so now we will go to domains. Okay, so if I click on indexes, see, 3 order details has been indexed here, it's been inserted here. And if I hit one more, I think this number will get increased to 4. So this information we can see in the dashboards. Okay, for now let's check what and all the fields it is data is getting inserted here. Okay, these are all the fields it is having in the open search. Okay, so now, so the first scenario, that is happy path scenario, like all the scenarios, all the checkboxes are successfully done here. Now what we will do, we will try insufficient stock. Okay, if it is a insufficient stock, for example, if I placed an order, okay, for example, if the quantity or available stock is I think 97, if I place quantity of 1000, right, then it should fail, saying that there are no sufficient stocks. Okay, in this case, how state functions compensate the request, so that we will check now. So before we check, let's cross check the inventory table stock value first. So now we will go to inventory table. Okay, so right now we have stock 97. Okay, now I will go to this one. So I let me run quantity number as 1000 or above 97. Okay, let me run the command. So in the first scenario, happy path scenario, I gave quantity as 1, but now I will give, let's say I will give 1000 as quantity. But whereas in our actual in the database stock value, we only have 97. In this scenario, it should fail with message insufficient stocks. Okay, so let's try this one. Okay, yeah, so it created an order with the status as pending, and this order number is 3EB. Okay, so now, yeah, we have executed this command. Now what and all we have to verify. I will go to step functions. Okay, so let me go here. So this one ending with order number ending with 3EB, what we have just executed, and we can see the stages, right? So inventory. Let's check the output here. So what is the error? It says insufficient stock for product 001, right? So once this is done, it is not even going to any other checks. It is not going to fraud check or process payment, nothing. It will directly come to the failure state. Order failed. So we can see order failed state, it will come directly, right? So okay, let me cross check as per this data. So yeah, so this we have explained. So it did not even execute it. Now we will go to DynamoDB and check the status there. Okay. So this particular order ending with 3EV, we will go to, okay, we are in DynamoDB and go to orders and okay, let me open the order what I created ending with 3EV. And if you see the status is failed. Okay, now there should not be any emails also for this particular request. So let me open my inbox. Generally, it comes in spam. So let me open. So if you see last order, that is happy path scenario ending with 357 only we have, and I did not receive any mail for order number 3EB. Okay, so okay, let me cross check email consumer. Okay, there should not be any new entry for the email consumer. I will go to CloudWatch. Okay, so I'll go to log groups. I'll go to, let's go to log management. So email consumer, we need to check email consumer. Let me refresh. Okay, if you see the latest one is ending with order number 357. That means it is the previous order, not the current one. So there is no entry even in the CloudWatch logs. Okay, so yeah, this is clear that if there is no sufficient stock, it will straight away fail, and it will make the DB entry also status as failed, and subsequent tasks like even it will not trigger for the email as well. Now let me check the fraud detection, which is AI powered one, and here the expectation is inventory reserved AI flag order as a fraudulent score greater than or equal to 0.7. If this is the case, then inventory will be released and order will be failed. So before we run this scenario, let me cross check the inventory table and note the what is the stock value. So let me go to the DynamoDB and I will go to inventory table. Let me refresh. So stock value is 97 only because the previous one also failed due to insufficient stocks. So now we will go back and execute this command. So yeah, before I execute this command, I would like to show you what and all the scenarios that AI will analyze and give the score. Okay, let me go to the fraud check lambda. Okay, so we'll go to fraud check lambda. Sign in. So as I mentioned earlier, we are using Bedrock. Through Bedrock, we are using a model. I'll just explain that one. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, this is the prompt we are giving. Okay, so order number, all the details we are giving, customer ID, customer email, and all other details we are giving, and what and all we are asking. Okay, evaluate for. So we are asking AI to look all these scenarios, and if you see this one, fraud score 0.0, and other scenarios, for example, if you see this one, so based on all these conditions, it gives the fraud score. And if we come to model, so this is the LLM that we are using from the Bedrock. Okay, so based on that, it will provide us the score, right? So now let's go back and check. So main scenarios, what scenarios? One is unusual high order total. Okay, if it is greater than $500 is suspicious. If it is greater than 2000 is high risk. And unusual large quantity per item. If it is greater than 10 is suspicious, greater than 50 is high risk. And suspicious email domain, like any random strings, disposable email providers, and the price anomalies. So in this case, in one of the uh, case, what I will do, I'll give some wrong email ID, and then I'll see how AI powered uh, fraud check happens and provides the results to us. Okay, let's go back and give it a try. Okay, so let me cross check the scenarios. Okay, in this scenario, so what we are giving, so email ID, wrong domain we are giving. Okay, so let me run this with some invalid email ID. Also, this quantity, I'll give more quantity. Okay, let me run that. So I have given some invalid email ID and the quantity is I gave 40. Okay, let me hit enter. Okay, so what is the number ending with order number is ECA. Okay, now let me go here. So, okay, so as per the above command, okay, these are all the like bulk quantity we gave 40. Okay, and then the email ID, suspicious email ID we gave, and the high total and the price anomaly flagged by A. So these are all being given in this curl command. Now we will verify the step functions. Okay, let me open the step functions. Yeah, I'll refresh. Okay, let me open the latest one. Let me refresh. So what is the number? ECA. Okay, let's check the fraud check analysis. So if you see the output, so I gave invalid email ID. Also the quantity is high. Okay, quantity I gave 40. So it says units per item is suspicious. Also order total of $3960 is unusual. But fraud score it gave only 0.5. So that is the reason it did not fail, because in the I have given condition as if it is greater than or equal to 0.7, then it should fail. So I think that is the reason it came as success. So to fix this issue, so I just now I have updated my prompt, right? So I gave specific scores for individual items. So I gave for high order total, I gave a score 0.3. In the similar way, I gave score for each item. For example, if it is email domain related, then the score is you can see 0.4. So if more than one high risk signal is present, then consider score must be greater than or equal to 0.8 I mentioned. Right? If you see here, so we have high risks here. This is one high risk and this is one high risk. So if any scenarios like if it is more than one high risk, then consider it is 0.8. That means it would be a fraudulent order. Then just reject it. So that is the expectation now, right? So if you see this one, if it is greater than or equal to 0.7, then flagged as fraudulent and mention the score and the reasons. Okay, so I just now ran one command. I deployed it already and ran one command. Let me rerun it again. Okay, so I'm giving again invalid email ID. Also the quantity I gave 40. Okay, let me run it. Let's pick up the order ID from here and then proceed for step functions. Yeah, I forgot to hit enter. Yeah, now I have your new order ID ending with 167. Okay, let's go to execution of state functions. So order number ending with 168. Yeah, if you see this one 168 is failed now. Okay, let me check this graph view. So reserve inventory is fine, success. Let's check the fraud check, what output it is giving now. Yeah, so now if we check, so error message it says for the order ending with 168, flagged as fraudulent, core is 1.2. So reasons, unusual high order total, okay, greater than 1000 is high risk, and unusual quantity per item greater than 20 is high risk, suspicious email domain, right? That is what we have mentioned. Okay, that is this user. This is another high risk, and the price anomalies. So based on all these things, so AI powered check has given a score of 1.2 and it got failed. So once this is failed, it will not execute any other stages here. Let's say process payment or confirm order, any other stage it will not go. Directly it will come to the release inventory after fraud fail. Okay, based on this error, and then it will fail the order, and then order failed. So let's go back and check. Okay, if the what are the other things that we can cross check, right? So this we have right now. We have cross checked all this order like a failed order, order failed, all are in same state. So now, yeah, fraud score also we have checked, that is 1.2, and then inventory table. Now we will go to fraud 001 stock, restore to the original value. Okay, so the expectation is it should not update the stock, meaning it should not decrement the inventory, right? So let me go to the inventory table items. Okay, let me go to inventory table and refresh. Okay, yeah, this scenario, because we have a successful scenario in between, right? So when the fraud check did not happen, 40 orders has been placed successfully. So that is why it is 97 minus 40, that is 57. So even in the second scenario also, it is still at 57 only. So for checking, let me give a try again and see. So the expectation is this 57 should not change. Okay, and in between, let me cross check the orders. Okay, if you see the 168 order, what we placed, okay, this one, 168, which reported or rejected by the AI powered check, right? So DB in DB also it says the status has failed. Now we will check the inventory status also. I will hit again. So similar quantity, same command. So the expectation is inventory, currently it is 57, it should not change. Okay, now the order number ending with 41D. Now I will go to state function, step functions. Okay, so let me refresh. So 41D order number ending with, okay, let me open this one, right? So now also it is failed and the other states did not get executed, right? Now we will go to inventory and cap check. Yeah, so if we see 57, it is still at 57 only. Okay, there is no change. And coming to the orders, right, it should be failed state. Let me refresh. Okay, so yeah, 41D ending with, so it is in failed state. So order also did not placed. Okay, and we can also check there should not be any, there should not be a mail for this particular order. So for which order? Order number 41D. Okay, so if you see this one, this is the previous successful order. Okay, and there is no mail for 41D. So order number ending with ECA is the previous order, right? This order, which was successful since the fraud check did not give the correct score. Okay, so okay, let me go back. Okay, and let's check the scenario 4. In the scenario 4, so what happens if payment failure payment failed? Okay, let's check payment failure with the compensation. So the expected results are inventory reserved, fraud check passes, but payment fails. In this case, so it should inventory should get released and order should be failed. Okay, so before proceeding, let's go back and check the stock value in the inventory table. Okay, let me go to the DynamoDB and I will check the inventory table and refresh. So stock value is for product 001, it is 57. So let me go back. And what we will do in the process payment lambda, okay, we will make the change. This change we will make. So we are forcefully making this to fail, payment to fail. And then we'll see how remaining states will compensate the scenario. So let me make this change first in this lambda. Yeah, I will open the process payment lambda. Okay. So yeah, these are all the lambda that we have. I will open the process payment lambda. Okay, in this, okay, let me, yeah, just give me a minute. Okay, in this process payment lambda, so we will, let's comment this one. So with this change, we are forcefully making the process payment to fail. So okay, let me deploy this change. The function code has been updated and deployed in another editor. Okay, accept. Okay, let's verify and then proceed. Okay, yeah, so changes are present. Okay, let me go to the curl command. So in this curl command, so we are giving the correct email ID, valid email ID, and remaining details also correct, and the quantity also I'm just giving 1. So the expectation is fraud check also should pass now. Only it should fail in the process of payment state. Okay, let me hit enter. Okay, so order number is 37A. Let me go to step functions. Okay, let me refresh. So 3737A order number. So reserve inventory is success. Fraud check also success now. Let me check the output. It says score is 0, risk level is low, and it is true. Yeah, so this is passed now. Now coming to the process payment. So process payment is failed now for the particular order 37A order. It failed. Okay, due to some exception. So once the process payment is failed, it didn't proceed for the confirming order or release inventory. All these scenarios. So it came to release inventory after this scenario, right? So and then it failed the order. Okay, so if you see this one, inventory released true, right? So let me cross check. So what we have done, we have executed with the curl, we have executed this curl command with the required inputs, and so this is success. Even fraud check also success. Process payment is caught some errors, and after that it redirected it to release inventory after payment failed, and failed order failed. So this is done as expected, and verify compensation work. So now what we have to check, we will go to inventory table, and there should not be any decrement in the stock. So let me go to the items inventory, and this is the 57 what you have seen before. Let me refresh. So there is no decrement happened in the inventory. That means there is no change in the inventory. So that is expected. So now, yeah. So now order table, if you go for this particular order ending with 37A, even the status should be failed. Okay. So let me go to the orders created. So 37A, and its status is failed. Okay. So yeah. So since we have tested this scenario, I will just revert this change back to this change random.random. So let me go back to the process payment. So I will revert the change and then deploy it. Okay, I successfully updated the function. So yeah, with this we have covered all the 4 scenarios. And coming to the scenario 5, so this is elastic cache. Cache hits versus misses. When the cache will hit and then when it will miss. So the first product lookup, okay, it hits the DB, DB, and it will be a miss from the elastic cache. And subsequent looks up served from the uh, Redis. Okay, so yeah, this is the main use case of this one. So I have deployed elastic cache also, but this scenario, so I have not tested here. So you can give it a try. Yeah, so before we close, okay, this is the repository. Okay, so all the lambdas I created manually and updated the code. So we can also do it through the Terraform, but currently I created it manually. So yeah, we can see all the lambda, and its code has been lambda function code has been updated here. So if you want to give it a try, you can try. Also, so to brief, so I have added all the docs here, architecture, design, and policies and other details and scenarios what we have tested. And coming to the step functions, so this is the uh, okay, all the states what we have, like reserve inventory and fraud check, all the states, process payment. So the step function related JSON file is present here. Also for the open search and elastic cache, for these two I'm provisioning using the Terraform. Okay, and remaining all uh, uh, the main reason of using Terraform for these two is these will be these two services will be chargeable, and other lambda functions and step functions, SQS and SES, it is all like only whenever I use only I need to pay. So remaining thing, even though it is running, I don't have to pay for those services. So that is the reason. So for in the Terraform, only for the OpenSearch and Elastic cache, I have used Terraform to provision and remove the instances when I'm not testing this. That's all I would like to share for today. Thank you.